It was a rainy night, and Rayan, exhausted after a long day, boarded the last bus home. The dim interior was eerily quiet, with only a handful of passengers scattered about. Rayan sat in the middle of the bus, setting his bag on the seat beside him. At the very back of the bus sat a man in an old-fashioned black suit. He was unnervingly still, staring out the window into the dark, his pale face illuminated by the occasional streetlights. Something about him felt off, but Rayan brushed it aside, blaming his tired mind. As the bus made its way through the deserted streets, passengers came and went, but the man at the back remained unmoving. At one stop, a woman boarded and sat near Rayan. Leaning toward him, she whispered, "It's freezing in here, isn't it?" Rayan nodded absent-mindedly, then paused. Freezing, he hadn't noticed earlier, but now he could see his breath hanging in the air. The heater was on, yet the cold was bone-chilling. Curious and slightly unnerved, Rayan glanced back. The man in the suit hadn't moved an inch. His hands rested on his knees, and his gaze was still fixed outside. The bus reached another stop. Rayan noticed the driver looking uneasy, frequently glancing in the rearview mirror. As the bus pulled away, Rayan approached him. "Excuse me, do you know that man sitting at the back?" The driver stiffened, but didn't turn around. "Don't look at him," he whispered hoarsely. "Just sit down." Confused and alarmed, Rayan returned to his seat. His heartbeat quickened as he resisted the urge to look back again. Minutes later, the woman who had spoken earlier suddenly stood and walked toward the back. "Excuse me, sir," she said to the man in the suit. There was no response. She leaned closer. "Sir." Before Rayan could react, the lights in the bus flickered, and a loud bang echoed through the interior. The woman screamed and stumbled back to her seat, trembling. "What happened?" Rayan demanded. He's gone," she stammered. Rayan turned and the back seat was empty. The man in the suit had vanished. Terrified, Rayan ran to the driver. He disappeared. How could he just vanish? The driver's hands gripped the wheel tightly, his knuckles white. "I told you not to look at him," he muttered. "You've seen too much now." The bus came to an abrupt halt at Rayan's stop. Shaking, he grabbed his bag and stepped off. The rain had stopped, and the streets were eerily silent. As the bus drove away, Rayan noticed something strange in its rear window. His reflection showed the man in the suit standing directly behind him. Turning quickly, he saw no one there. Frozen in fear, Rayan slowly walked toward his apartment. His shadow, cast by a nearby street lamp, stretched long in front of him. But then it happened, another shadow appeared beside his. The screen fades to black as Rayan gasps. Who or what is the silent passenger?